You think you've heard it all? But Kody Brown's latest moves have turned the sister wives world upside down. Again, divorce papers, a secret wedding, and family secrets no one was supposed to hear are now spilling out. And the truth is juicier than anything TLC ever aired. It begins with rumors, whispers, barely credible at first. Fans browsing late-night rumor sites read a title, Kody Brown's stunning new marriage. But isn't this the same guy still working himself out of Mary? The same guy whose plural marriage kingdom was falling apart, wife by wife? Of course this must be clickbait. But hours later, the rumors boiled into a hurricane. Paparazzi pictures flooded social media. Kody, unmistakable in his signature curls and cowboy cool fashion, strolling arm in arm with a mystery woman. Not one of the Brown family members. Not anyone viewers had ever spotted on Sister Wives. She wasn't avoiding photographers. She was smiling. Fans were in overdrive, analyzing every aspect. Who is she? How long have they been acquainted? And why does it seem like Kody already has on a new wedding band? The truth? It's even uglier than anyone imagined. Before the new romance even could hit the headlines, Kody's breakup with Mary had long since reached the point of no return. For years, fans witnessed their marriage deteriorate into chilly politeness, the affection supplanted with stilted conversation and shared ire. On television, they worked things out. But behind the scenes, sources claim Mary was finished years ago. When court documents confirmed the divorce was finalized, Mary wasted no time making a cryptic but loaded Instagram post. Sometimes the storm comes to clear your path, not to destroy it. Translation: she's free, and she's not looking back. Fans rallied around her, calling this the glow-up season of Mary's life. But as she was taking a step forward, Kody was already heading in a totally different direction. That elusive woman from the paparazzi shots? She wasn't merely a one-night stand. Insiders confirmed that Kody and this ferociously private new woman had gotten married in a low-key ceremony weeks ago. No TLC cruise, no multi-episode soap operatic buildup, and most revealing of all, no Brown family guests. The bride, who allegedly is not from within polygamous society, is said to be strong-willed, independent, and utterly uninterested in reality TV stardom. If that is true, that alone is a massive shift from the dramatics that drove Sister Wives for more than a decade. Others view this as Kody finally taking a move for himself without subjecting himself to the scrutiny of public opinion. Others believe it's his way of redoing his story before more skeletons rattle out of the Brown family closet. And oh, those skeletons are rattling loudly. In the weeks following the wedding announcement, several insiders, some purportedly close friends of the Brown children, began spilling gossip about the behind-the-scenes tensions that never made it onto TLC's cameras. One insider asserted, "What you saw on the show was just the tip of the iceberg. The real tension was boiling long before the cameras caught it." Apparently, the splits among Kody and his grown children, particularly Christine's and Janelle's, are currently deeper than ever before. Some of the children have refused point-blank to meet the new wife. Others feel betrayed, saying that Kody's emotional involvement in their mothers began declining way before the divorces. Christine, who has herself been vocal in her disdain for her past marriage to Kody, said she was unsurprised but still hurt by the news in an interview. Janelle, always the reconciler, has been less forthcoming, but fans noticed she hasn't shared anything in support, and that says a lot. For more than a decade, Sister Wives showed us Kody as the man who could juggle 4 marriages, a household of children, and the intricacies of plural love. But as every wife departed, first Christine, then Janelle, now Mary, the ideal picture shattered. Now, with a new marriage and old wounds in the family still to heal, his reputation is on a knife's edge. There are fans who forecast a redemption story. Perhaps this is the opportunity for Kody to start over on his own terms, without network commitments and relationship sacrifices. Others believe this is the last page, that Kody's time in front of the camera is done, and now is the age of tabloid headlines and social media rumor. TLC has remained tight-lipped on whether this will be featured in upcoming Sister Wives episodes. But don't be mistaken. If cameras do roll, the ratings will explode. They're quote something ridiculously addictive to the Brown family drama. The combination of love, religion, betrayal, and raw emotion unfolding in real time. Fans are no longer simply watching a reality show. They're watching the coming apart of a family dynasty, and each turn keeps them hooked. From Christine's dramatic exit, to Janelle's quiet but firm independence, to Mary's final break, each chapter has left fans wondering, what's next? And now, Kody's secret wedding has thrown gasoline on a fire that was already blazing. Right now, the Brown family is a tangle of separate lives, connected by history, divided by trust. Kody is remarried, perhaps happier than he's been in years. At what expense though? Broken relationships with kids, ex-wives finally speaking their truths, and a fan base that's now divided between support and outrage. The question isn't whether the drama will persist, it's how much more the Browns are willing to lay out, and how much Kody can conceal before the next bombshell explodes. Because if there's one thing history has taught us about this family, it's this: nothing stays hidden for long. And in the world of sister wives, just when you think you see the end coming, the story turns on its head all over again. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not now, not like this. But if there's one thing we've learned about Kody Brown, it's that the man never fails to shock the world. And this time, the fallout is bigger than ever. Picture this. It's late evening. Social media is quiet. Just the usual scroll of celebrity selfies, cooking reels, and vacation photos. Then, without warning, a grainy, slightly blurred photo starts popping up on multiple gossip blogs. At first glance, it looks harmless. Kody Brown, walking down a sunlit street, wearing his usual jeans, button-up shirt, and that unmistakable mane of curls. But here's the detail that stops everyone in their tracks. He's not alone. Next to him, arm linked with his, is a woman no one recognizes. She's smiling, not the awkward forced smile of someone dodging paparazzi, but the kind of smile that says, I'm comfortable here. She's dressed casually but confidently, with sunglasses perched on her head, her hand resting lightly on Kody's arm, as if they've walked this way 100 times before. Before long, fans are making connections. This isn't some casual acquaintance. This is someone intimate, too intimate. And in the world of sister wives, intimacy with Kody Brown signifies one thing: a romance. In minutes, the picture is all over. Instagram fan sites, Reddit forums, Twitter feeds, all abuzz with the same questions. Who is she? When did this occur? And what happened to Mary? Speculation becomes theories. Theories become passionate arguments. Some of the fans are adamant it's nothing, that Kody is just out with a friend. Others notice the seemingly innocuous body language, the brush of their hands as they walk, the ease in their step, and vow this is not friendship. And then comes the second punch. One celeb gossip blog releases an article stating their exclusive insider has confirmed that the woman is not only dating Kody, she's his wife. Married in a ceremony closed off from the cameras, from the Brown family, from TLC fanfare. For longtime watchers, this news hits like a bolt of lightning. Not that Kody has fallen in love again, but that he's done it. This is the same individual who constructed his public image on the basis of open plural family coherence. The individual who asserted that transparency was the foundation of his relationships. And yet here he is, purportedly marrying in secret, away from the individuals and the network that achieved his stardom. The reactions of fans are fierce. Some stand up for him. Let the man live his life. He's had enough drama. Perhaps he just wanted something personal. Others are angry, private, or underhanded. He's been keeping this a secret while professing to work things out with his other wives. The controversy continues on the web, with every new rumor adding fuel to the fire. What makes this bombshell even more incendiary is when it happens. Kody's union with Mary had been on the ropes for years. The tense awkwardness between them was clear to see on television. Discussions which once flowed easily now became stilted, polite utterances. Yet despite the tension, fans thought that they'd at least stage their ultimate breakup in public. Rather than that, it appears this new relationship has been quietly building in the background, possibly running concurrently with the end of his marriage to Mary. Whether that's actually the case, or merely fan wishful thinking, the optics are poor. It portrays Kody as emotionally moving on, before he gets around to wrapping up the loose ends of his previous life. And for a family already broken by previous divorces, that hurts. At the heart of it all is the woman herself. Who is she? How did she and Kody meet? And why hasn't anyone in the world of sister wives ever laid eyes on her before? Early rumors portray her as fiercely private and not interested in TV fame. She supposedly hails from outside the polygamous community altogether, which in itself is a stunning departure for Kody. All of his past relationships were based on shared religious and lifestyle beliefs. This is something entirely different. Friends on the inside say the two met up through friends at an intimate party months ago, but quickly hit it off based on their commonalities that had nothing to do with religion or TV shows. From there, the romance supposedly progressed rapidly, with Kody attracted to her independence and fresh approach. But with no word from Kody or TLC, all is still speculation, and that speculation is what's keeping fans nuts. If the internet fan base is in an uproar, just think about what is going on behind closed doors in the Brown household. While no official statements have come from Meri, Janelle or Christine, a few cryptic social media posts have caught attention. Christine recently posted a photo of herself laughing with friends, captioned, "Sometimes the best revenge is a happy life." Janelle, ever diplomatic, shared a quiet photo of the mountains with the words, "Peace isn't found in noise." Meri's post, however, was the most telling. "Sometimes the storm comes to clear your path, not to destroy it." Audience fans are reading between the lines, interpreting these as veiled yet biting responses to Kody's so-called new wedding. To get an idea of why this solitary sighting and gossip have generated such a huge backlash, you need to consider the history. Sister Wives was not only a television program, it was a public test in love, religion and family under the type of lifestyle most Americans do not know. Kody wrote himself up for years as the man who could manage 4 wives, scores of children, and remain unity-centered. Every split, Christine's, then Janelle's, then Meri's, chipped away at that image. And now, the idea that he's moved on so quickly, so quietly, with someone completely outside the family framework, feels like the final nail in the coffin of that original vision. This isn't a relationship update. It's a symbolic conclusion to the Kody Brown the world believed they knew. As the photos go around and the rumors build, one thing is heavy in the air. Why the secrecy? If it is true that this relationship exists, and if the marriage rumors hold water, why not reveal it to the world? Why threaten the inevitable backlash when the truth comes out in the end? Because in the reality TV and fan culture world, it always does. Some people think that Kody wanted to shield this new relationship from scrutiny and judgment that ruined his former marriages. Others believe he's just dodging the on-camera drama he knows the TLC crew would jump all over. But the more quiet he remains, the more opportunity there is for gossip. And gossip tends to become public opinion sooner rather than later. Right now, this is merely the beginning of what can be the most dramatic chapter in the history of sister wives. All the pieces are in place. A clandestine marriage that no one was privy to. A fresh wife with no lineage to the show's past. 3 former wives who've been outspoken, often harshly so, about their grievances against Kody. Kids in the middle, many already estranged or distant from their dad. And now the world waits, holding its breath for the first fissure in the quiet. Because no matter if it's coming from Kody himself, TLC, or an ex-wife with an anecdote to share, that first verified tidbit will have a domino effect that reshapes everything all over again. Some divorces are muted, but when Kody Brown and Meri finally called it quits on their decades-long union, the world didn't just hear it. It felt the earthquake ripple throughout every aspect of the Sister Wives fanbase. For years the audience had witnessed the cracks build between Meri and Kody. Early on in Sister Wives, theirs was the first love tale, the genesis of the Brown clan. Meri wasn't only Kody's legally wedded wife, she was the lady who brought the other wives into the mix. She had been there prior to fame, prior to cameras, prior to the world recognizing their names. But something went wrong over time. Perhaps it was the pressure of being in a plural marriage. Perhaps it was the conflict of their personalities being tested under stress. Perhaps it was simply the wear and tear of years in a relationship where both felt silenced. By mid-seasons in the show, you could see it. Warmth between Kody and Meri had given way to formality. Conversations that were once fluid were now punctuated by awkward pauses. Smiles were forced. And in interviews behind the scenes, there was a level of hurt and bitterness that couldn't be masked by diplomatic words. If there was anything that accelerated the collapse, it was the notorious catfishing scandal. Years ago, Meri began an online relationship with someone she believed was a man named Sam Cooper. It turned out to be a woman running a fake profile. The scandal exploded in the media, and suddenly Meri's name was everywhere, not as Kody's devoted wife, but as the woman who had been emotionally unfaithful. Kody never really got over that betrayal, at least not on television. In interviews, he conceded it damaged the trust, and viewers could observe it in how he created distance from her. Meri, for her part, insisted she had been emotionally vulnerable, lonely, and seeking to confide in someone, not attempting to leave the marriage altogether. But the harm was done. From that moment on, their emotional bond was broken. In the subsequent years, Meri became increasingly alone in the family dynamic. Though Kody's relationships with Janelle, Christine and Robin were not without their controversies, there was always a feeling of partnership with them. With Meri, it seemed the distance was perpetual. Audiences could see that she tended to sit alone in group settings. Her discussion with Kody limited to appropriate small talk. Even with the other wives, her relationship appeared tense. She immersed herself in operating her Utah bed and breakfast, spending increasing amounts of time away from the central family center. And yet, in it all she remained. Fans speculated about why. Loyalty? Hope? Or was it simply not wanting to leave behind 4 decades of shared history? The impasse arrived discreetly, at least initially. Behind the scenes, documentation was being readied. Lawyers were in play. Rumors circulated that this time, Meri wasn't merely considering leaving, she was prepared. And then, out of nowhere, the news fell. Kody and Meri were legally divorced. Not spiritually separated. Not working through issues. Legally totally finished. For a marriage that started before sister wives was ever even a thought, this was huge. Just hours after the news broke, Meri posted on Instagram a photo that immediately went viral. Sometimes the storm comes to clear your path, not to destroy it. It was a short, poetic, and richly meaningful statement. Fans analyzed it immediately. Was she labeling the marriage a storm? Was she happy to be free? The comments rushed in, with fans endorsing her strength, and others mourning the end of such a long chapter. A fan wrote, "You deserved better. I hope you find the peace and happiness you've been missing." Another person said, "The real Meri is about to shine. This is your moment." While Meri's post stirred up conversation, Kody remained notably silent. No Instagram statement, no public acknowledgement. Even in the following episodes of Sister Wives, when asked about Meri, he kept his answers brief and unemotional. This silence just fed the rumors. Some people believed that Kody was too invested in this new relationship to talk about Meri leaving. Others thought it was because he did not want to open up himself to further public criticism. Christine and Janelle, who were already estranged from Kody at this point, appeared to stand with Meri. Christine, during an Instagram live, explained, "I know what it's like to leave something that isn't healthy for you anymore. I'm so proud of her." Janelle, who has historically been quieter in her public statements, simply left a heart emoji on one of Meri's photos. A subtle move, but one which fans interpreted as a gesture of support. Robin, the only wife still with Kody, stayed out of the public conversation entirely. This too sparked speculation. Was she avoiding taking sides, or was she silently in agreement with Kody's approach? Kody had already been through separations with Christine and Janelle, but Meri's exit hit differently. She was wife number 1, the legal marriage that started it all. Without her, the Brown family, as viewers knew, it would never have existed. Her departure wasn't just the end of a relationship. It was the symbolic end of the original Brown family structure. What began as a story about unity, faith, and the challenges of plural love had now splintered into individual paths, each moving in completely different directions. The fan base was divided. On one side were those celebrating Meri's newfound freedom. She wasted too many years on a man who didn't value her. I'm glad she's moving on. On the other side were those mourning the loss of the family they'd invested over a decade in watching. I never thought I'd see the day when all the wives would leave. It's sad, no matter what happened. And in the middle were those asking the big question. If Mary was willing to walk away after all these years, what does that say about the reality of plural marriage in modern life? Here's the kicker. While fans were still processing Mary's departure, Kody's rumored new marriage was already underway. The timelines blurred. The emotional burden of losing wife number one was quickly eclipsed by rumors of a new woman stepping in to fill her shoes. For Mary, it might have been a blessing in disguise. The spotlight moved off her heartbreak and onto Kody's ill-fated next step. But for the viewers, the double whammy drama was nearly too much to take. You thought the divorce was the sensational story. You thought that was the height of the drama. Oh no, that was merely the buildup. Because Kody Brown's next step didn't just surprise people, it redefined the whole story of who they believed he was. It began like all reality TV gossip does, with one fuzzy picture. A candid photo of Kody Brown, walking down a bright sunlit street, a hint of a smile on his lips. But what caught everyone's eye wasn't Kody. It was the woman walking with him. Tall, confident, stylishly so in a loose, easy manner. She wore sunglasses perched on her head, and her hand nestled in his arm. They seemed relaxed. This was not a business meeting. This was not catching up with an old friend. This was something different, and the internet recognizes something else when it sees it. In a matter of hours, fan accounts were uploading close-up photos, attempting to clarify the image like a forensic crime scene investigation. Speculation was circulating faster than anyone could track. Perhaps it's a cousin. No way, not family body language. He's seeing someone new. Calling it now. Then came the so-called insider leaks. A celebrity blog stated their source close to the situation confirmed it. This wasn't simply a girlfriend. Kody had married her. Not engaged, not seeing each other, married. And with that, the internet exploded. Pursuant to these leaks, the wedding had occurred quietly several weeks prior. No TLC camera crew. No elaborate reception hall. No Brown clan in attendance. It was purportedly a small, intimate affair. Mere handfuls of close friends and perhaps a few family members from her side. Individuals who, up until that point, had most likely never been part of the Sister Wives collective. It was the polar opposite of the way Kody's past relationships had transpired, with courtships and weddings set against the backdrop of millions of viewers. Viewers were left wondering, why so secretive? Some thought Kody had finally learned his lesson from decades of being under public scrutiny. That this time, he was trying to save his relationship from the sort of drama that reality television always involves. Others wondered if something more sinister, like perhaps he was keeping it under wraps, because the timing coincided with the ugly breakup of his marriage to Mary. The mystery woman's identity became the internet's biggest fixation. Some hints were revealed. Supposedly, she's in her 40s, prosperous in her own profession, and not affiliated with the polygamist way of life. Kody has been a part of his whole life. That's gigantic by itself. All of Kody's previous wives had been from his spiritual tradition, his communal sphere, his ideology. This woman? A total stranger. Some insiders buzzed that they met at an exclusive social party through mutual acquaintances. Others said she'd been introduced by someone within the extended Brown orbit, but someone distantly enough removed that she never got cast on the show. If the leaks hold any water, she's fiercely private and not interested in fame, which is why she's been able to fly under the radar until now. Here's where fans started paying close attention. Kody has always projected himself as a man who excels in a plural marriage, who loves the feeling of community and shared responsibility. But with this new marriage, there's no talk of sister wives, no hint that she's joining a bigger family. It's one-on-one, just the two of them. For viewers who followed the show from the beginning, this feels like a total 180. It's like watching a politician suddenly abandon their lifelong platform. The change is so drastic, it's hard to believe. Some supporters say it's a sign of growth. Might be he's just finally figured out what does work for him. Perhaps he's learned his lesson. Others aren't so quick to believe. He built a brand on polygamy. Now he's just giving it up. This is like a midlife crisis. More interesting perhaps than the marriage itself is the silence it has provoked. Christine, Janelle, and Mary have all made subtle social media gestures that viewers read as shade,
but none of them have addressed the new wife specifically. Christine just keeps posting about her blissful new relationship, glowing in pictures with her fiancé. Janelle posts peaceful and independent moments, highlighting her kids and individual pursuits. Mary posts inspirational quotes, smiling in solo vacation selfies. Robin, the sole wife left standing prior to this new lady, has said nothing. No Instagram posts, no sit-downs with media, no sightings. For someone who was once considered Kody's go-to confidant, her silence in all of this is deafening. To many viewers, the secrecy of the new union is a betrayal, not so much of the ex-wives, but of the viewers. Sister Wives was not a show, it was an open window into the Browns' lives. Viewers witnessed every important moment: births, moves, fights, reconciliations, heartbreaks. Now one of Kody's biggest life milestones has supposedly occurred completely off camera, making the fans who've been following his life for more than a decade feel left in the dark. It's almost as if the show and the audience are part of the old life he's leaving behind, and this marriage is the start of a completely separate chapter he doesn't want to share. Behind the scenes, some insiders claim TLC executives are scrambling. A secret wedding, especially one without their cameras, means lost footage, lost storylines, and potentially lost ratings. If the marriage is indeed confirmed, they'll need to figure out a way to work it into the show retroactively, or risk alienating the fan base even more. There's even gossip that producers will give the new bride a lucrative offer to come on the show, even though she's supposedly not interested in being famous. But if she's as private as sources claim, there's no telling whether or not she'll take it. The cyber crowd is divided right down the middle. Team Fresh Start thinks this is Kody's opportunity to finally be able to concentrate on one partner, to have a simpler, healthier relationship without the drama of multiple wives. Team Hypocrisy thinks of it as a betrayal of all that he professed to believe, blaming him for using polygamy as a shield until it no longer protected him. The argument is heated, with both camps being certain they're seeing the real Kody now. The new marriage alters everything for the Browns, even if they're no longer a couple in the same way they used to be. It's another change for the kids. Some won't even meet the new wife. Others just don't care, keeping their focus on their own lives and avoiding the drama. It's a mixed bag for the ex-wives. On the one hand, Kody's new girlfriend eliminates any remaining doubt about reconciliation. On the other, it's a painful reminder of how fast he's moved on, and how far the family's initial vision has been destroyed. At the moment, everything surrounding the marriage is rumor. No official announcements, no wedding pictures, no TLC confirmation. And that's precisely why it's so addictive to fans. Each new sighting, each ambiguous Instagram update, each source keeps it going. And this is the thing in the world of sister wives. The truth always surfaces in the end. When it does, it won't only be a tale of a new marriage. It'll be the tale of how Kody Brown transitioned from the center of a sprawling polygamy clan to the husband in a very exclusive, very private relationship, and what that reflects about all that came before. The internet almost exploded when the news broke. Kody Brown, the man who used to espouse loyalty to his polygamous marriage, had wed again, but this time, not with one of his longtime sister wives. It was a new face, someone who had never been involved in the Brown family's messy past. There had been speculation for weeks. Paparazzi snapped photos of Kody strolling hand in hand with an unknown brunette in an upscale restaurant in Flagstaff. Some believed it was a friend, others suspected it was a business partner. But then, one blurry photo appeared of Kody with a gold wedding band on, and that was enough to drive social media crazy. In a matter of hours, Kody Brown was trending on Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. Viewers who had watched Sister Wives for years couldn't believe their eyes. So Kody couldn't get it right with 3 women who gave him decades of their lives. But now he up and marries someone new. One fan said on Twitter, "This is a midlife crisis on steroids." Another fan posted. The gossip swiveled instantly into speculation about who this new wife was and how she and Kody met. Some detective fans said she was in real estate. Others insisted she was a family friend from a previous era. But the question on everyone's mind was, when did this all begin?
Ooh, that's where it got messy. If you put the divorce timelines against the supposed dating timeline, there appeared to be a bizarre overlap. Christine had officially exited in 2021. Janelle's was announced in late 2022. Mary's was finalized in early 2023. And now, mid-2024. Kody apparently remarried. Even Robin, the lone wife standing by him, appeared stunned in the newest Sister Wives leaked clip. Seated in a confessional interview, she confessed, "I didn't know it was coming this soon. I thought we were going to take some time to heal before moving on. I need to process this." Her voice cracked, and for the first time, the fans saw Robin not as the favorite wife, but a woman watching the ground slip out from beneath her feet. An anonymous source, alleging they were close to the family, said in a big tabloid, they had been in contact with each other for months before the split was finalized with Mary. It began as a means of business, but quickly became personal. Connection was intense. Kody felt she understood him beyond the understanding the other wives had with him. The source went further, suggesting that Kody felt validated by this new woman because she never challenged his authority. A stark contrast to the independent, outspoken personalities of Christine and Janelle. And just like that, the internet divided into two camps. Those who believed Kody had been emotionally involved before the divorces were fully over. Those who thought this was simply a man moving on and finding happiness again. But in any case, the drama had only just started. The wedding announcement somehow seemed to open the floodgates. Grown children from the Brown family started sharing mysterious Instagram stories. One posted, "Some people rewrite history so they come out better. Don't believe everything you hear." Another posted, "Family should precede fame." Always, these weren't passive remarks. They were definite indicators of profound cracks between Kody and his children. Some flat out refused to come to the wedding. Others weren't invited at all. Christine, who never had a problem speaking up, uploaded a video to her own social media account with the message, "Life is too short to settle for less than you deserve. I'm happier than ever." Although she didn't name Kody, followers interpreted as a veiled swipe at her former husband's recent wedding. Janelle responded quietly but said to an interviewer, "I just want peace. I hope Kody finds what he's seeking, but I don't know if this is it." Information about the wedding itself was limited. Unlike the on-camera proceedings of his previous weddings, this one was intimate, on a remote resort outside Arizona. No TLC crew. No huge guest list. Just some friends, a few relatives, and the new bride. Leaked photos revealed Kody dressed in a sharp black suit and white rose boutonniere, grinning like a man who'd outwitted the odds. The bride was in a plain ivory dress and held a bunch of wildflowers. For fans, secrecy was a firestoker. If Kody was so delighted, why keep it under wraps? Was he attempting to prevent further backlash, or was something more profound he didn't wish to get out? The news left TLC producers in a panic. Christine, Janelle, and Mary were gone, and Robin was said to feel betrayed. How could the show just keep going? A marriage to someone new, outside of the original family, drastically altered dynamics. Would fans accept the new wife, or would they view her as the woman who stole years of history? Industry sources indicated that the network was faced with two choices: reposition the show on Kody's new beginning with his new wife, move all focus to the existence of his former wives, who were now doing just fine by themselves. Fans strongly supported the second choice, stating they cared more about seeing Christine, Janelle, and Mary move forward with their lives than Kody's new relationship. After weeks of not being heard, Kody addressed the rumors in a Facebook Live Q&A session. He was defensive in tone but controlled. "I know a lot of people are wondering about my decisions, but this is my life. I'm not here for social media validation. I loved my family. I still love them, but love sometimes changes. We sometimes change." He scoffed at any comparison between his past marriages and this one, saying that all the right things took place in the right order. But from the thousands of agnostic comments pouring into the stream, not everybody was believing it. By the end of the month, fan page and entertainment blog polls gave a clear view. 72% of the fans disapproved of how quickly Kody had remarried. 18% claimed they didn't care. They'd stopped watching years ago. Only 10% solidly supported him. Undefined, it was a huge tumble from grace for a man who had once presided over a united, if unorthodox, family. The air was thick with tension. The kind that doesn't just fill the space, it clings to your body like heat in a summer afternoon. The Brown family knew the talk was inevitable. Kody had been evading certain subjects for months, but they were inescapable now. The divorces, rumors of a new marriage, and tidal wave of family secrets had finally made landfall in one huge showdown. It began quietly enough. Only a handful of family members gathered at the big dining table at Robin's. The cameras were turned on, producers anticipating something major was going to go down. Kody presided over the table, arms folded, eyes flitting from his children to the other sister wives. He appeared to be a man trapped, though he'd never acknowledge it. "Let's just get this over with," stated Christine, her tone steady but assertive. She'd learned her lesson with Kody about dancing around the truth. And it wasn't a pretty one. "We all deserve to know what's really happening. No more half answers. No more games." Kody leaned back in his chair. His jaw clenched. "You already know what's happening," he stated, attempting to keep his tone flat, but there was a sharpness to it. Defensiveness combined with the stinging feel of being caught out. That's when Janelle leaned in. "Do we though? Because last I checked, you were saying one thing to the kids, the media something else, and us," she nodded at Christine and Mary. "Something altogether different." Silence. Even Robin, who generally attempted to mediate, wasn't in a hurry to jump to his defense today. She was rigid, hands clasped together on the table, head bowed, and then came the shock moment. Gwendolyn, Kody's daughter, rose to her feet. She'd remained silent until now, but the anger had been mounting for years. "Dad," she said, her voice shaking but firm, "I don't care about your wives anymore. I don't care about the cameras. But you've lied to us. You've lied to Mom. You've lied to all of us. And for what? So you could keep pretending everything is okay?" Kody's face grew stern. "I've done what I needed to do in order to guard this family." "No," Gwendolyn retorted. "You've done what you needed to do to guard your reputation." The words lingered in the air like a storm cloud waiting to burst. The breaking point. This wasn't about one divorce or one wedding. It was about years of resentment, favoritism, and shattered trust. Christine's leaving had been the chink in the armor, but now that chink had become an abyss. The discussion devolved into all the open wounds. How Kody had openly favored Robin over the other wives. The emotional distance that had developed between him and many of his children. The supposed secret wedding, rumors that had been going around the internet. And then in a moment that seemed almost staged for reality television, but was agonizingly real, Mary stood up. "Kody," she whispered, "I stayed longer than I should have stayed. I tolerated more than I should have tolerated. And now that I see it, leaving isn't even about saving myself. It's about letting everyone else finally know the truth. You can't keep us all in your control anymore." Kody didn't immediately answer. His gaze was locked on the table, and for an instant the cameras recorded what appeared to be real regret. Then, as quickly, his defenses returned. "If you all believe I'm the bad guy here," he said at last, "then perhaps I ought to just leave it all behind. Leave you all behind." The drama was not just about feelings, it was about facts. Over the past year, family members had slowly pieced together a trail of suspicious behavior. There were text messages Kody had accidentally sent to the wrong person. There were photos that surfaced online of him, with a woman no one recognized. And there were bank statements showing large withdrawals and mystery expenses that didn't add up. Janelle had had enough. "If you're going to walk out, good. But you're not walking out with all the cash. Not after all we've created here." That hurt. Kody slammed his fist on the table. "I built this family," he growled. "I provided for everyone." Christine shook her head. "No, we created this family. And you destroyed it." Even Robin, his closest supporter, spoke up at last. "Kody, I can no longer stand up for you. Not if all this is true." The camera zoomed in on Kody's face. For years he'd been the charming patriarch, the man who could talk his way out of anything, but at that moment he appeared. Small, defeated. Before that explosive sit-down, the family dispersed. Some ran to their cars in tears. Others remained behind, whispering. The producers were already drooling over the footage they'd gotten. It was reality TV gold. But for the Browns, this was life. In the weeks that followed, the fallout was huge. Christine publicly stated she had no intention of reconciling. Janelle openly spoke of taking legal action regarding money. Some of the adult children even stopped following Kody on social media. And then, most famously of all, pictures appeared of Kody with the enigmatic woman again, this time at an Arizona resort. The gossip went wild. Was she his new bride? A close friend? Or something even more salacious? Kody would not comment, but the quiet only added to the rumors. It all boiled over when the family was invited to host a Where Are They Now special. They did not all want to do it, but the network offered big bucks, and for some it was worth it to tell their side of the story. On tape, the host confronted Kody squarely. "Are you remarried?" The studio fell silent. Kody paused, then defiantly replied, "I've moved on. That's all I'll say." Audience gasps. Christine glanced at her hands. Janelle emitted a stinging laugh, half anger, half skepticism. The host pushed him harder. "Moved on, as in marriage." Kody smiled uncomfortably. "I'm happy. That's what matters." And just like that, the Browns knew the truth. Not from Kody's honesty, but from what he didn't say. Today the family is fractured farther than ever. Some relationships may be beyond repair. Others are hanging by a thread. If anything though, the Browns have proven one thing: their lives are bound to be complicated, messy, and, universe willing or not, public. As Christine summed up at the end of her last confessional of the season, "People believe reality TV is staged, that we're just performing for the cameras. But the hurt is real. The betrayal is real. And the truth is, sometimes the person who you love the most ends up being the one who hurts you the deepest." Kody might have stunned us all with his divorce soap opera, new wedding, and scandalous secrets revealed. But the biggest surprise of all is that the family who used to espouse unity and love now serves as a warning. And as the credits rolled on that memorable episode, one thing was apparent: the Browns saga isn't finished. It's only beginning its most surprising installment yet.